Happy Friday, everybody. Michael LaFido. 1 second here. I wanted to show you guys this. These are the branded boxes. We'll talk about this today. That was one thing I wanted to grab to show you today. We'll be talking about that, talking about showing up differently. Again, you're in the right place. If you are a real estate broker, you're a team leader, or you're an individual agent and you're looking to work smarter, not harder. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. I'm the author of the book, Luxury Listing Specialist, and I'm the founder of the luxury designation known as LUXE. We just had our training last week. We're going to be talking about some common questions that agents asked, and we had a follow-up coaching call today, and I'll talk about some of those coaching calls. So again, if you guys are getting value from today, please leave us a comment, leave us a like, leave us a review. And I'm going to drop in here in a second the link. Please type in where you're watching from. If you're watching it from, you don't have to tell me which platform. I know if you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, but let me know where you're watching from. Where's home for you? We'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to drop into the comments the actual link where you guys can come on camera and ask a question. And so let me do that right now. I'm going to drop that in there. And this is for anybody that would like me to bring you on camera. I just dropped in that link right there. You should see that, and I'll pull that up here. It's a kind of a long URL, but I'm using a service called StreamYard. If you drop in that link, if you copy and paste it, or if you click on it in the remarks section where you're watching, you can literally bring in. So we got people watching from Huntley and Chicago on our Instagram. And if you guys want to ask questions or want me to bring you on camera, just go to Luxury Fridays and click on that top link, and it will take you over to my YouTube channel. Or you can go to YouTube and go to Marketing Luxury Group and hit subscribe, and you'll be notified of any upcoming live streams. All right. So today we're talking a little bit about last week. Last week we did we had an event. It was an absolute success. I do want to talk about that a little bit. Let me pull that up for you. This was literally at a really cool venue. It was called Medina Country Club, very exclusive. Thanks to our preferred lender, John Nolden. He got us in. He's a member, and he got us in there. And so I'm going to share with you right now what some of those photos look like. We had an absolute blast. And give me a second as I pull this off here. So I'm just going to pull this over here. Give me a second. Boom. And all right. So go ahead and type any questions you guys have. Again, you're watching Luxury Fridays. This is May 20th. If you would like to look at some of our previous episodes, you can literally go to our YouTube channel, type in Marketing Luxury Group, and you guys will see a bunch of photos. You'll see a bunch of videos, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is what happened last week. But if you want to see some other episodes, that's the best way to do so. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share with you my screen, and you guys can see just a couple photos here. So this was on my Facebook page, but what a cool venue. As you can see from the architecture and the beams and the artwork, it was an absolute blast. And we had over 30 agents in attendance. It wasn't a cheap event. It's an investment in yourself. We had a lot of great sponsors. There's Ryan from the LGBTQ Alliance. There's John Nolden and the Blues Brothers. I had the Blues Brothers attend. It was a blast. Um, and There was Chicago Title and Land Trust and said team members there. And these were our sponsors. We had the Main Street Organization of Realtors, which is our my real estate board. We had MRED, which is our MLS, and we had some amazing sponsors at that event. And we had a good time. And uh, if you are friends with me on social media, go to our TikTok. You could just look up Luxury Specialist on TikTok, and we put together a pretty cool video on that particular property. And one of the on that particular event, I should say. And one of the common questions I consistently get is, "Hey, Mike, the market is shifting. What can I be doing over the next 30, 60, 90 days?" And we just had somebody actually on our coaching call today ask that same question. What can we be doing over the next 30, 60, 90 days to get business now? That's a great question. And so I had a gentleman attend my training last week, very inspiring. Literally, this agent, you've heard maybe you've heard the term "don't burn bridges," but maybe you haven't heard the term "burn the boats." And burn the boats basically means, if you're fully committed to something, and if you landed on this island and you burn the boat, that means, hey, I can't get on the boat and leave the island. I have to fend for myself. I have to find food. I have to find shelter. It doesn't leave you an out. Like, you're fully committed. That's what burning the boats means. And so I had an agent last week. He burned the boat. I mean, he had a job, and he was so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and he invested in our designation, our training at Medina the day before the event. And I'm not going to mention his name because he asked me not to, but this gentleman literally invested in himself. And I don't necessarily recommend you burn the boat and quit your jobs if you are a part-time real estate agent or you're considering a change in your career. I mean, you got to feed your family, but real estate is one of those careers. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. Just like anything, the more you put into working out, the more you see results. The more you put into lifting weights, the more stronger you get. Whatever it might be, you get out of things what you put into it, right? And so he fully was vested and said, I'm in. I'm fully in. And I commended him for that. Most agents, most human beings wouldn't do that, right? Over the last 2 years, 62% of our workforce has turned over since the start of the pandemic. In other words, 62% of people aren't in the job they were when the pandemic started. Whether they took on another job or they're unemployed, 62%, it's almost 2/3. And so, again, we're going to see a lot of turnover. There's 1.6 million realtors out there. I think you're going to see a decrease in that as many market shifts. If you weren't on a previous episode, again, this is Michael LaFido here. If you weren't on a previous episode, our last Luxury Fridays, a couple weeks back, I gave a recap of my attendance at a conference called the T3 Summit, which was in San Antonio. I went to that the first week of May. And all these leading authorities within our industry, presidents of REMAX and, president and CEO of Sotheby's, and all these thought leaders and leadership C-level executives talked about the market and where the market is and where the market's going and what are their thoughts. And most thought we're in a shift. We're seeing a shift in the market, right? Inflation is at an all-time high. Gas prices are said to go to $6 a gallon. You have interest rates going up. Many people are thinking the sky is falling, the sky is falling. But I just want to reiterate that rates are still historically less than they are per decade. I want to read you something real quick. And this is literally something that I did a screenshot of. So I'm looking on my smartphone right now that I want to read this to you. And I'll share this graph to you guys maybe on next week's training. But this is literally, and this is thanks to my friends at Keeping Current Matters, and this is straight from Freddie Mac, and I wish I could share this on my screen, but it's on my smartphone. In the 1970s, the average interest rate on a mortgage in the 1970s, this is the average per decade, was 8.86%. Right now, we're hovering around 5%. In the 1980s, the average interest rate to buy a home or to refinance was 12.7%. In the 1990s, it was 8.12%. In the 2000s, it was 6.27. And in the 2010s, it was 4.9%. Over the last decade, it was 4.09%. We're currently hovering just above that, but we are lower than we were in the 2000s, lower than the 90s, lower than the 80s, and lower than the 70s. So I share that with you from the standpoint of, we are still lower than 4 out of the last 5 decades. So it's still an amazing time to buy a home, still a great time to sell a home. I have to have a conversation later today with a seller who's thinking about pausing, taking his property off the market. And my conversation with him is going to be, we certainly can do that, but nobody knows. We don't have a crystal ball. Nobody knows what 2023 or 2024 is going to do, or even later this year is going to bring us. But what we know right now is there's still a limited supply. Rates are still historically low, and many think gas prices and some other, factors are going to push down on the market a little bit, have some downward pressure, bear market versus bull market, if you will. And so I'd recommend, if you're going to do something, if you're going to try to get top dollar right now, we have a higher chance of selling than the unknown in the future. So that's my conversations that we're having with sellers today, literally. And I recommend you have those same conversations. And I'm going to go to this right now. Try KCM. I'm going to try to pull up that slide if I can. And if I can get that slide up, I'm gonna do that for you guys. So I think it's that important that if I can share that with you, I will do that. So let me try to top slides this month. So I'm gonna try to get that for you guys. So give me a second as we do that. Any questions here? Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know what questions you have. And as we try to pull up that slide, might have to be next week's if we can't get that slide, but it's very powerful. Again, rates are historically below the decade averages of the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, and the 2000s. And only the last 10 years, rates have been historically on average lower than they are today. So it's still a great time to buy a home. It's a great time to sell a home as well. And life is what drives real estate. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the president is, doesn't matter what interest rates are. Somebody's getting married, somebody's relocating, somebody's getting divorced, somebody got that job promotion, somebody unfortunately got laid off. That is what drives real estate, okay? And we have to remember that, because sometimes we buy into the fear mongering that goes out there. And so that's something that I want to make sure you're aware of. All right. So I'm not seeing it. I wish I could pull it up right now, but that is something we'll have to do on next week's call, on next week's Luxury Fridays. Great question, Guillermo. Thanks for jumping on here. Guillermo has a great question, and he says, what do you have to say with eviction, the memorandum that's ending, how banks and governments are acting on it? So I do believe, great question, I do believe you're going to see an increase in short sales and foreclosures. And just a reminder, the difference of a short sale and the difference of a foreclosure. A short sale is you have a homeowner that isn't paying the bank. they're more than 3 months default. Okay, that's called a lis pendens. They got, they may have gotten a notification from their lender or the bank, but when they're 3 months or more behind on their mortgage payment, we call that a short sale or pre-foreclosure. Maybe you've heard of a lis pendens, but they still live in their home. That's a pre-foreclosure. That's a short sale. A foreclosure is, guess what? They just got evicted from the home. They no longer own the home, and the county, or 10 years ago, they had cash for keys, where the lender might incentivize, say, hey, listen, we'll pay for your moving cost, or we'll pay you, X amount of dollars to get out peacefully, because otherwise we're going to have the sheriff over there and we're going to kick you out, and there might be some embarrassment and your stuff might get rained on or whatever else. So I personally just went through this on one of our properties that we represented recently. They got kicked out, right? Not by the county. They went smartly, and they were smart about it, and they left the house, and that is a foreclosure now. It's a foreclosure. So I communicated with the bank saying, hey, if you're looking for somebody that knows the home, knows the area, please consider me when you are going to be relisting the home for sale. Great question, Guillermo. There's a course out there that I recommend, and it's my good friend that he runs it. And I'm going to pull up that website that I recommend. I'm a big believer in certifications and designations. I'm the founder of the LUXE designation. If you guys are not familiar with that, you can go to luxurylistingspecialist.com, luxurylistingspecialist.com, and I'll put that in the comments section right there, where you can find out. Oh, we got someone from San Antonio joining us. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All the way from Texas. I was just down in San Antonio first week of May, and I was in Fredericksburg, Texas, doing our training in February. The hills of Texas, wine country, if you will. So that is something. I'm going to try to pull up this gentleman's website here if I can. But in the meantime, feel free, guys, to go to luxurylistingspecialist.com, luxurylistingspecialist.com, to find out more about our designation. And let me see here. Is this what? Yes. I'm sharing my screen here in 2 seconds because I want you guys. I'm going to give a shout out to my good friend, Tony. He just launched his luxury division. So Tony owns a brokerage in South Florida. He just launched his luxury division. 20 of his agents took our course. We were an integral part in helping him. I advised him. I consulted Tony with the launching of his luxury division, and they used our course as a trampoline, if you will, to get some momentum. And they require our course for an agent to be in their luxury division. But I'm going to share with you, hold on for a second. I'm going to share with you my good friend Tony's. He bought it. Maybe you've heard of this. But if you are thinking about short sales and foreclosures, I recommend you guys check out cdpe.com. That stands for Certified Distressed Property Expert. I just typed that in to the comments, cdpe.com. It's, I think, a $390-something course. And that's my good friend, Tony Martinez. You can go to cdpe.com, cdpe.com. And that stands for Certified Distressed Property Expert. So great question. I appreciate that question. And so it's questions like that help our Luxury Fridays go. We always have some kind of topic we want to cover each of our Luxury Fridays, but we want participation. We call those AMA, Ask Me Anything. You guys have a question about real estate. Maybe we have some people live streaming right now that are watching that aren't real estate agents. They're consumers. They're thinking about buying. They are thinking of selling. They are selling. Maybe they need a second opinion. If that's you, please type that in. this Luxury Fridays is not just about luxury. These are common questions, whether we focus on luxury, but a lot of times they apply to all price points. So if you have a questions about real estate, please type it in, ask it, and we'll try to get to it today. So again, we just got off the heels of our event in Medina. It was an absolute blast. Uh, Literally, I got to show you this video. It was absolutely insane. It was such a fun training last week that I got to show this to you. And I'm going to unmute it, and I'm going to play this live. Wait. Oh, hold on here for a second. All right. So here's what I'm going to share with you guys. You got to watch this, and then we're going to talk about the big ahas, the common questions that agents ask. Again, my name is Michael LaFido. You're watching Luxury Fridays, where we stream each Friday on multiple platforms. We take questions from the audience. So if you're a real estate agent, a broker, a team leader, you're a newer agent, you're a seasoned veteran agent, you're with a major franchise, or you're with a boutique, this is the right place if you're looking to work smarter, not harder. I got to show you this quick video, and then I'm going to talk to you about some key takeaways from last week.
It's Michael LaFido. We just got done with our full-day luxury listing specialist designation here at Medina Country Club, and we rocked the house by bringing in the Blues Brothers. They performed Sweet Home Chicago. So if you're looking to differentiate yourself from the 1.6 million other realtors, get Lux certified. Go to luxurylistingspecialist.com. Perfect. Live here from the Luxury Designation, we got the Blues Brothers. Come on, put your hands together like this.
There's some pictures coming across. There's Jake Elwood right there. And there's the Blues Brothers mobile. There's me with them right there. We had a blast.
Give it a rev, Lance.
Check out. Listen to that. Listen to those pipes.
You got anything to say about Lux?
You know what? Lux Homes, that's what it's all about.
Lux Homes, that's what it's all about. So that was a blast. That was last week, but we did get a lot of common questions. We had a lot of common questions. So those questions, oops, hold on here. We got Facebook playing videos there. We want to make sure that we don't have any distractions there. So we did have a blast for sure. So thank you for those that, if you didn't notice, we had a lot of fun. And again, I'm a big believer. It was a full day training, plus we did a mansion tour. But I do believe that anybody can go to a training, but you want to make it a great experience. And that's my good friend and my speaking coach from 12 years ago, James Malinchek, 12 and a half years ago now, taught me that. So I don't see, do I see foreclosures on the horizon? Monica, I do see some short sales and foreclosures uptick in activity. I think people have overpaid for homes over the last couple of years. I do think people with inflation, business owners are going to have to pass it on to the consumers, right? I mean, think about it. Landscaping companies, right? If gas has tripled in the past year, they're going to have to charge more. If there's a shortage of baby formula, there's a shortage of this, shortage of that, it's going to be passed on to the consumers. The business owners have to pass on those. Otherwise, their margins shrink, and then they're going to be working for free. And so that's going to affect a lot of things. People's profitability is going to go down. People are going to lose jobs. I do feel like we're going to see some short sales and foreclosures. And again, I'm not trying to be negative Nick, negative Nancy right now. I'm a realist. And again, life is what drives real estate. People are going to be thriving, and people are going to have the next couple of years are going to be their best years ever, and that's what I focus on. But I do think, especially in Florida, Monica, I see your Facebook profile image, great state of Florida. I do think in some of those states where the prices were just not sustainable, you're definitely going to see some short sales and some foreclosures. Erica, great question. Thanks for asking. What do I recommend as a newer agent? You get more listings. Well, Erica, I recommend you get in front of more people. So there's really a couple things I recommend. First off, you got to let your past clients, or you're a new agent, you might not have any clients. You got to let people you know, you like, and you trust. You got to let them know that you're in real estate. And not just once, but consistently. You have to be top of mind awareness. You know, there's a part of your brain, Erica, that's known as the reticulator activator, or your RAS, your reticulator activator system. It's a part of your brain that heightens awareness to certain things. Pregnant women notice other pregnant women. You buy a new car, you see that car all over the road. You want to plant the seeds so people in your database, people, I'm not sure if you're married or if you have kids, but let's just say you have kids and you're at their baseball game this weekend. You want to make sure that your kids' teammates, parents know that you're in real estate, and the PTA, people on the PTA, people at the school, or people at the Panera. I have one team member that he hangs out at Panera all the time, and he's got a group of friends that he's made friends with by drinking coffee, and they talk, and they need to know that you're in real estate, and you got to plant those seeds and bring something of value so that when they are overhearing someone talking about buying or selling a home, boom, you're top of mind awareness. So that's number one. The number two thing that you can be doing, Erica, to get more listings is get in front of more buyers, because many of those buyers have to sell to buy a home. Well, how do you get in front of more buyers? Open houses. So you might consider volunteering other people. So, Erica, let me know which area you are in and which brokerage you're in, if you wouldn't mind typing that in, and I'll try to really cater my message to you, although I'm talking to other people on this live stream. But that would be very helpful, Erica. I can circle back on that question. Manda, thank you so much. You're asking me about the Buffini method. Are you referring to drop bys and stop bys and handwritten notes? If that's what you're talking about, those are never bad things, right? You want to be top of mind awareness. Okay. You want to be top of mind awareness. So one of the ways you want to be top of mind awareness is consistently bring value to your database through video, through handwritten notes, through drop bys. Okay. So yes, I think that's a good thing. So Erica's in Huntington Beach, great area in California. So one of the things that you can do is you can ask other agents that are within your brokerage, whether you have a relationship with them or not, other EXP agents in California, if they would be open to you hosting an open house. Now, this might be your first Luxury Fridays, Erica, but does anybody from a previous Luxury Friday, or if you've attended my events in the past, what's the most listened to radio station, Erica, or others, that other listing agents have, that other listing agents listen to? What's the most listened to radio station that other listing agents listen to that have listings that aren't selling? So in other words, I'm a listing agent, I'm marketing a home, I have a listing, it's not selling. What's the most listened to radio station I listen to? Type that in for those of you that are watching this. We must have a lot of newbies on here because I talk about this a lot. The most listened to radio station, I'll give you about 30 seconds to answer this. What's the most listened to radio station buyers listen to? What's the most listened to radio station sellers listen to? What's the most listened radio station listing agents that have a stale listing that isn't selling listen to? Again, it's the same. I've checked. It's the same in Huntington Beach. It's the same in Orange County. It's the same in Chicagoland. It's the same in Arizona, in South Florida. It's the same all over the country. Anybody know? Anybody know? All right, I'm going to type this in here. The most listened to radio station. I'm throwing it on the screen right now. All right, Erica, you don't know, it's okay. The most listened to radio station that the consumer listens to is What's in It for Me. Again, a buyer doesn't care about your awards, right? You see this nice awards I got from Who's Who in Luxury Real Estate. I was their MVP in 2019. The general public doesn't care about that. A buyer doesn't care about that. A seller doesn't care about that. You as an agent, you don't care about that. You that are watching this today, you care about what is Michael LaFido going to do today, Friday, May 20th, to bring me value so I can sell more homes, so I can get in front of more buyers for more sellers. A buyer, they only care about is what are you going to do to find them that off-market property that isn't picked upon. Okay, so there locally, there's a new home coming on the market. It's not in the private network. There's a sign in front of it. Legally, they should be in the private network, but this agent shared with me his photographer's computer got stolen. I told him hopefully it doesn't have anything on that laptop like Hunter Biden, but that's another story. His photographer's laptop was stolen, and that's why he doesn't have photos of it online, and the home is not in the private network. Legally, he should be, but I'm not going to narc on him. We all make mistakes, and he's a nice guy, and I trust him that maybe his photographer's laptop was stolen. But I'm out there trying to bring value, trying to be the first to go to these buyers that I work with and say, hey, guess what? There's a new home coming on the market. Because I'm all about silver platter service. Again, buyers, I know these buyers I'm talking to, they might be on other agent searches. So I'm going to be first to market. I want to be the first to let them know about this property. I want to get them in there first before maybe they call their part-time real estate agent friend or whatever it might be. So what's in it for me? That's what buyers think about. Sellers think about, I don't care about your awards. I care about how you're going to get my home sold quickly for top dollar and save me more money. Now, getting back to Erica, your original question, what keeps a listing agent awake at night? Again, I'd love to bring somebody on that's been on a previous Luxury Fridays or has attended one of my trainings, and I'd love for you to click on that link. I'll show it to you again, the StreamYard link. I'd love to bring you on. Actually, Erica, if you're okay, if you're in front of a camera, I'd love for you to come on. Literally, I would bring you on. You just got to click on that StreamYard link. Well, I'll share it again. And all you got to do is literally click on that link. You don't have to download anything. And if you're okay with it, I'd love to bring you on camera. This is more interactive if I can. And we'll talk about this. Okay. And if it's not Erica, the first to do it, I'll bring you on camera. Oh, great. We got people from Houston. We got people from Houston, which is great. We got California. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of new faces on here, which is great. Luxury Fridays will be coming to you next Friday as well, Friday the 27th, same time, 11 a.m. Central. Anybody want to be brought on camera right now? Makes it a lot easier. I'm going to incentivize for anybody that I bring on camera. I'm going to give you a digital version of my objection handling playing cards. I sell these for $27 at luxuryspecialistgear.com. If you guys were to go to luxuryspecialistgear.com, I sell these for $27. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you right now. This is luxuryspecialistgear.com. We have our most popular t-shirt is just simple luxury specialist one, but we sell it in different colors and that kind of stuff. But those are my objection handling playing cards for $27. That's why I wanted to share that with you. We do sell them. Literally, you can go to luxuryspecialistgear.com to purchase anything. I literally don't make much of a profit on it. It's more of a hobby than anything else. And I have Renita coming on here right now from Houston, Texas. Uh, so I'm gonna bring her on. How you doing there, young lady?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Let me stop my share screen. So, Renita, you're gonna have to make sure that you send me your email address so we can send you the digital version of these with our objection handling playing cards for coming on camera. I had to bribe you to get you on, put you on here. It's so great to see your face. Thanks.
Well, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, so I was like, okay,
Well,
let me
that's where
just
the
do it.
magic happens. So first off, how did you hear about Luxury Fridays?
Well, actually, I'm a part of your self-paced group. I've I purchased that last year, I think.
Yes, you was that at uh you heard about us online. I don't think you saw us in person. Is that correct?
No, I have not seen you in person. And then when I'm doing my walks in the morning, I listen to the podcast. So
Good. Are you getting value from that?
yes, I am.
Good. We
Hmm.
just released our 190th episode yesterday. Our 190th episode was released yesterday. My good friend Trey Scott was on that. Trey's dealing with some heart issues, and we're
That's the
trying to.
one I just listened to
Oh,
yesterday morning.
oh, is that right? What? Tell me your big aha from that.
Well,
I'm putting you on the spot, by the
I
way. You
know.
were not prepared for this, so you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and I'm putting the spotlight on you.
Yeah, I think with that one, the main thing was just, I think the mindset. I mean, um, what was the phrase? Like when people tell you that you can't do it, to
Yeah, proving
just
others
do it,
wrong.
proving others wrong. Hmm.
Yeah, so on the screen you see this is the episode with Trey Scott. This is
Okay.
what Renita is referring to. She listened to this yesterday. Uh, Legacy is beyond finances. So Trey is dealing with some health stuff right now, and he was very
Very much so.
transparent,
Hmm.
and he could use some prayers. And we've also included with Trey a link for a GoFundMe. But but let's get back to what we're talking about right now. I have an agent that asked, she's a new agent out of Huntington Beach, Florida. And she said, what do you recommend to get more listings? This is a great question. So I want to get back to this, uh, but we talked about the most listened to radio station in Houston is the same in Huntington Beach, and that's what's in it for me. That's what the consumer cares about. So when you're
Hmm.
going on a buyer's appointment to meet a buyer at Starbucks before you show them homes, perhaps, or you're going on a listing appointment. I have a couple listing appointments next week. One of it was a referral from South Carolina, or you're contacting a listing agent. So we're going to role play a little bit right now, Renita. So let's just
Okay.
say you have a listing. You're in my office. You're an agent in the Huntington Beach area, like Erica, um, and we're gonna role play as if you're Erica, who's this new agent who asked me about how can she get more listings. Okay.
Okay.
And so we're going to role play. You have a listing right now, and this is going to be a little role play. I love role playing. I feel like agents can learn so much. Those of you that are watching live on our Instagram, you can go to luxuryfridays.com to ask me any questions. I interact more there than I do on our live stream on uh, on Instagram. So getting back to the role play, you are a listing agent. You're not expecting my call. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Renita?
Yes, this is Renita.
Hey, Renita, Michael LaFido. I'm out of the same brokerage that you're in. I don't think we've ever met, but I live kind of in the Huntington Beach area, and you have an amazing property that you're selling there. And I see it's been on the market for some time.
Yes, it has. Hmm.
I'm not sure if the seller's on you about why isn't it selling or what are you going to do to get my home sold, or I'm not sure when your expiration date is coming up, but I'm a
Hmm.
newer agent and I want to get in front of more clients. And first off, let me start off by saying I'm a big believer in win-win. So I want this to be a win for you and a win for me. And since I'm a newer agent, I'm not sure if you do many open houses or you know, what your family status is or what you do on weekends. But I know a lot of seasoned veteran agents don't like working open houses. And I'm a newer agent and I want to work open houses. And I thought I'd give you a call before I called Marta from our office that also has a couple cool properties. So I thought I'd give you a call about maybe hosting an open house at that cool property. So again, I'm a big believer in win-win. So even if we don't get it sold over in the open house, it still benefits your sellers because, you know, on those third-party websites like Realtor.com and Zillow, what happens is they really push those properties, those listings that have open houses over similar price properties that don't. So even if we don't get a lot of traffic through the open house, Renita, it's still going to be a win-win because you're going to get more eyeball traffic, more clicks and more views, and that increases your probability of qualified showing. So what do you say about reaching out to your sellers, or maybe you have the authority to do it because it's vacant? I don't know, but what do you think about running it by your client and me hosting an open house at your listing? I'll do some marketing of it and hopefully get you a lot more eyeball traffic. I will fully disclose that you're the agent. I'll include a link, you know, I'll include your website, your name, and most, you know, I have no problem doing that. And so what are your thoughts?
Okay, what type of marketing have you done open houses before for anybody else?
I haven't. I'm a brand new agent. I'm new to
Okay.
the organization, but I watch Luxury Fridays, which is this show that this high energy guy out of the Midwest does, and I'm a part of this organization where I have some great mentors, and they've shared with me some best practices. And so we'll do some videos, we'll do some postings, um, and and we'll hopefully get you some organic and some traffic directly and indirectly. But this is my first one, but I'm hungry and I got some great mentors.
Okay. Well, let me just talk to the owners and see which weekend works best for them.
That sounds like a plan. And like I said before, once you give me the thumbs up, we'll pick a date, and then you give me any kind of print collateral you'd like, or if you want to first time meet me over there and walk me through the home, and you can tell the sellers like, hey, there's a people define teams differently, right? And so you can say, hey, there's a team member, there's an associate within our brokerage, however you want. And if it will help increase the likelihood of them saying yes, I'd be willing for you to meet me at the house and give me a walkthrough and point out any unique features of the home before the open house. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Awesome. All right, so let's get out of role play right now. So
Okay.
what are some things, and you weren't expecting this role playing, so I'll thank you again. What were some things that I dropped, some nuggets that you picked up on, just subtle nuggets during that role play right there? And feel free to type in those nuggets, or if somebody else wants to come on the camera, certainly. But I'm doing this not just for you, Erica. I'm doing it for Monica. I'm doing it for Steven and Deborah. I'm doing it for Guillermo. I'm doing it for everybody watching this or watching the replay. But what were some nuggets? Feel free to drop them in on what I just did there. And I'm going to bring in, let me see here. Can I bring in, I'm bringing in multiple people here. I got Eric on what I just did there. I got some bad replay. So I'm going to mute Erica right now. Stay on camera, Eric. I'll bring you back on here, Erica, in 1 second. So Renita, talk to me about some nuggets that you felt like I just shared with you there.
Well, I think as a listing agent, if a newer, I just felt like I said, "Ooh, I was thinking this newer agent knows a lot more than most newer agents," because most of the time they'll just say, "Hey, can I hold the house open?" Without really, because they're looking hopefully to gain a buyer, but not really so much thinking about how it could potentially satisfy a need that the seller has, or the listing agent to show some other things that they're trying to do to get the home sold.
So I sounded more confident than a new buyer's agent. Now,
Right.
of course, this isn't my first rodeo, so I better,
Right.
right? Fire me. Don't watch this show if I don't. But So, but I tried to lift you up as well, right? So in other words, I tried to,
Mm-hmm.
I addressed Captain Obvious, right? Hotels.com, Captain Obvious. The elephant in the room is what's in it for you, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of told you what you wanted to hear, but I was being authentic. I want to be win-win, but I was giving you what's in it for you on a silver platter without saying what's in it for you. I'm all about win-wins, right? I addressed the win-win and the elephant in the room. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna bring you back on camera. I'm gonna bring Erica on real quick, and Erica, I'm gonna
Okay.
ask you to share. So I'm not deleting you, but you're gonna see Erica come on 1 second. So stay
Okay.
with me, Renita. Okay, Erica, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. What was one big takeaway you got from that?
I think it was more of, the things that you were going to do. I'm a new agent. I haven't done this before. I'm going to, promote it. I'm going to do all these things. That's what I really liked.
Okay, perfect. So again, maybe rehearsing that call before you make the call, so you're more confident, you're more, hey, win-win, you sound positive. you know uh, Renita was a skeptical agent, which was great, right? She grilled me. She's like, well, how many have you done? And I addressed the elephant room. Hey, this is my first.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to share with something a little bit more advanced. Did you hear how I say I thought I'd give you a call first before I called Marta from the office? Did you hear what I said when I said
Yes.
that?
Uh-huh.
Do you know why I did that?
I think to show that you have done your research about the brokerage, the other agents too.
Okay, good. I'm going to bring Renita on to ask her why she thought I did that. Renita, why do you think I did that?
To make me feel that, like, you picked me first before, there are others that I could call, but, it was something about your listing or you that, helped rise you to the top.
Good.
If you say no, then I have the rest of these that I can go to, but.
Yep, that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head, right? So it's the old takeaway close. you know, I was with my good friend Chris and his son and my boys, and we were going to a Bears Kansas City Chiefs game a couple of years back, and we were short one ticket. My buddy Chris needed a ticket, and he had a budget, I think, of call it $100, and we're going to the game. We're going to the game, and 150 the scalpers, 200, 150, 200. One guy, oh come on, and he says, no, I only got 100. He said, nope. So we started walking away, and I go to my boys, watch this. And guess what? The guy chasing him down says, $100 it is. And my buddy bought the Bears ticket. That's called the takeaway close. People always want what they can't have.
Mm-hmm.
And so by planting
Mm-hmm.
that seed, by one, lifting you up so you felt special that I chose you, but two, just subtly and not salesman-y, not gimmicky, not threatening, not arm twisting, but just basically I have other options, but I started with
Mm-hmm.
first. It's the old man. Oh no, I want you to let me check with the seller, right? You raised your hand. You said, let me check with them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good. So win wins. The other thing, did you notice what I did there? Is I also let you know that I'm not trying to deceive. Like I'll make sure it's about you. I'll tell people in my data, this is your listing, your listing. Now, what I didn't tell you, which I'm telling the audience, most people are lazy by nature. They don't read contracts. They don't listen on Facebook. They're streaming live, and they just see me at your open house, and they make, oh, Mike, you got this new listing, right? They don't listen. They
Mm-hmm.
don't read. I'm not going to tell that to you, but the reality is, even if I put it out there, this is not my listing, this is not my listing, this is not my listing, and they see week after week you're doing open houses, they're going to start associating you with real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Good. While you got me, do you have any other questions that you wanted to ask me?
Well, I was listening to something of yours the other day, And I think for me, I was like, I need to sit down and really define the different markets we have. When you were explaining about what's considered luxury, the ultra luxury, and those type of
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Because typically, when I think of luxury, my mind. Okay, I put down Houston, Texas, but I live in Pearland, which is a suburb about 15 minutes from the center of Houston. But there are Houston markets that come to mind. However, there are luxury pockets or segments even in Pearland, or
Mhm.
even just right around me. So just figuring out how to kind of start
Yeah.
going after those.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. So you are a student. I love it. So you're talking about this video right here, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we released new content from our podcast, which I shared with you. Our podcast. You listened to our 190th episode, which we released yesterday. But also this week we released our new vlog, our educational video talking about the 5 price points. And literally,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to luxeredefined.com. That takes you over to our vlog, our blog, which we create videos, and you'll see we do a lot of different topics, right? So the 5 price points, always know what's in a contract, why you need to verify buyers, all this stuff, right? So we have educational videos, and I just put that on the screen for you to review that. So I just wanted to, so great points. So there are a lot of different price points, right? So we talk about in many markets, you got entry level or
Mm-hmm.
starter. You have average price point in most markets. You have high end. A high end home is a home that we define as 2 times that average sale price in that
Mm-hmm.
market you serve. And then you have luxury. Luxury we define as a home that is, or condo or townhouse, that is priced 3 times that
3
average sale
times.
price for that given market. And then this
Mm-hmm.
week's video we talk about the 5th market. It only applies to about 10 to 20% of markets. The 5th bucket, or the 5th price point, is what we call ultra luxury. And we define an ultra or uber luxury home as a home or a condo that is 10 times the average price point for that given market. So that was what you were referring to, that video we
Right.
just released. And I appreciate that. And I'll drop that actual video. Um, I'm dropping that link right here in the comments sections for you guys um, to click on at a later time or copy and paste. But that's the 5 price points right there. Great question. Thanks for bringing that on. Uh, do me a favor, and I'm going to type in my email address for anybody that's watching this live or watching the replay. Is you guys can uh, reach out to me via our email. Okay, via our email. And again, if you guys, that's what I'm going to want you to do, Renita. Shoot me an email so this way I know where to send you our objection handling playing cards. Okay, um,
Okay.
that's going to be best. Okay.
Okay. I can't see it because I'm
Oh,
still
I'm
on
sorry.
screen.
There we go. How's that?
Okay. Thank you.
Michael at marketingluxurygroup.com. Michael at Marketing Luxury Group. Shoot me an email there, um, and that's going to be the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
So
Yes.
please come on back next Friday, 11 a.m. Central, same time, same place. Again, the best way to get notified of our live streams is go to YouTube channel. And if you go to YouTube channel, search Marketing Luxury Group in the search, and that's the name of our YouTube channel, Marketing Luxury Group, and hit the subscribe button. When you hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified of upcoming live streams, and you'll also be notified of new releases. Okay, Marketing Luxury Group. Erica, you're absolutely welcome. Thank you so much. I hope that was helpful to you. These are the types of questions, whether you're a newer agent or if you're an advanced agent. I literally had yesterday, I did clubhouse, and we had an agent out of Minnesota ask me some advanced questions. So if you're a seasoned veteran agent, you're a top producing agent, we want your questions as well. We want to help newer agents and rock star agents and everybody in between. And that's why we launched this.
Michael, I well, I won't be here next Friday in person because my youngest daughter is graduating from high school, so I'll be at graduation for noon. But
good for you. So don't pull a Homer Simpson. If you remember in The Simpsons, he's watching the football game during church and they scored a touchdown. People are looking at it. So do not pull a Homer Simpsons next week, okay? Be engaged. Be at your daughter's graduation.
Yes. And I've been licensed for quite a while, over 20 years. But I'm at a point in my career that I want to take it to, I guess, upgrade my price point, so to speak. So that was one of the things that prompted me to, start listening and going through your information.
Well, no, I appreciate that. So let me, I talk about the buckets all the time, the buckets, right? The buckets. And so I'm going to pull this over here. I'm going to talk about the 5 buckets right here. So this would be a good way that we leave off. So what you're talking about, Renita, is increasing your average sale price. And to do that, you need to diversify the homes you represent. And
correct.
So on the screen you hear, I talk about buckets. I already talked about, every market's got an average price point, right? That's easy. You can find it out through your MLS, title company, maybe your MLS subscribes to some data provider. And the price points below bucket number 2 is bucket number 1. We call that entry level. And then you have high-end pricing, or high-end homes, which we define as 2 times that average sale price. Bucket number 4 is what we call luxury, which we define as 3 times. And then bucket number 5 is the ultra or the uber luxury. And so for you, my challenge to you would be to, maybe you're in the entry level average price point in your career, add some more high end and luxury. And how do you do that? Is you work other people's open houses in those upper price points. And why? Because guess what? Those buyers are upper price point buyers. And now you strike a dialogue, you have a good conversation, and that might become an upper price point buyer or a luxury buyer. And getting back to Erica, that's how you get listings, Erica. Because those buyers many times have to sell. And so you work other people's open houses, and those people have to sell. So don't keep it a secret that you are a real estate. Contact your database, your sphere, people that know you, like you, trust you. Let them know there's a shortage of inventory right now. Let them know, who do you know that's thinking about buying or selling in the next 30, 60, 90 days? We might be able to help them. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Good. Well, Renita, I appreciate your time. Have an awesome week next week, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
All right, perfect. And guys, my name is Michael LaFido. You're watching Luxury Fridays. I hope this was valuable to you. If you got a nugget, you got something, please leave us a like, leave us a review. If you have our book is called Luxury Listing Specialist. It's on Amazon. If we've earned a 5-star rating, please leave us a 5-star review. Again, I'm losing my voice, but it's all good. My name is Michael LaFido. And again, you're in the right place. If you're a newer agent, you're a seasoned veteran, you're with a boutique or you're with a franchise, and you're looking to work smarter, not harder. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. Tune in to Luxury Fridays for future episodes, or you guys can always go to Luxury, join luxegroup.com, join luxegroup.com for additional resources and support. My name is Michael LaFido. I appreciate it. Raise the bar. Have an amazing weekend. And remember to turn off the news. They want to divide you. Social media wants to divide you. They want to label you. They want to label me. It's amazing how much we do have in common if we just talk to each other. Keep raising the bar, whatever you do. And again, I truly appreciate you guys. Make it a great Friday. Make it a great weekend. Until next time, I'm your host, Michael LaFido on Luxury Fridays. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.